first of all, as you alluded to, Jenna, congratulations to the Lakers. First time they have the 1 seed since 2010. It's the third time a LeBron James-led team has had a 1 seed in the last decade. 2016, he had the 1 seed. I think they won the title that year. 2013, they won the seed. I'm pretty sure. You can check me on that, Broussard. They won the title that year. So we'll see if that continues. And, by the way, congrats to the Lakers as a whole. They clinched the 1 seed out west before the Bucks clinched out east, which I think a lot of people would have thought would have been an impossibility at the beginning of the season. But I want to start here because we have my dear friend Chris Broussard here. Chris, by my calendar,
sign. That's always a bad sign.
You've got 11 days.
Right.
And because I want nothing but the best for you, because you've been so kind to me over these last 4 years since I've gotten to know you, I am, as a friend, extending the olive branch. You've got 11 days before the playoffs tip off. You're allowed to change your preseason and midseason prediction until those playoffs tip off on the 15th of August. Now that you have seen what Anthony Davis is looking like, LeBron clearly slowly ramping up, I would just, as a friend, as someone who loves and cares about you, I would recommend strongly you do what you know your head is telling you to do, which is switch your prediction from the Clippers to the Lakers so you can end the season on the right side of history. So, of course, Jenna, the Lakers are unbeatable when Anthony Davis plays like that. And I want to know if Chris Broussard wants to join me on that correct side of the argument.
Well, I appreciate the olive branch, Nick. And it really would be what my heart would say. Because, look, in the beginning of the season, I was looking for every reason to pick the Lakers over the Clippers. And then as I watched, as I thought, as my head guided me, I said the Clippers are the better team. And I still feel that way. Now, I don't think they're better by a mile. I've never said the Lakers don't have a shot. I think this is going to be a mammoth series and a tough series, whichever team wins. So I give the Lakers a chance for sure. But I still think the Clippers are the better team, 1 through 9 or whatever they'll end up playing in the playoffs. But this is the formula I've been saying all year. If the Lakers are going to beat the Clippers, this is the formula. Anthony Davis has got to be a monster. I'm not worried at all about LeBron, even as he's looked at times subpar in the bubble. And he started the game subpar. He was very passive, just taking his time, getting everybody involved. And obviously he came alive in the fourth quarter. That clearly is by design. What I love, though, was Anthony Davis coming alive in the fourth quarter. What he did in the first 3 quarters was great, but I've seen that almost every night. I needed to see it in the fourth because that's when they're going to need him in the playoffs, particularly against the LA Clippers. And I like that he did not defer to LeBron in the fourth. He entered the game in the last 8 minutes. He scores 8 points, all in the last 4 minutes of the game, including 6 in the last 43 seconds. He wasn't looking to give it to LeBron. He wasn't backing up saying, King, you do it. If you need me, I'm here. He was the aggressor, and that is what I liked most about it. But the question is, can he do that against the Clippers? Because he's only got 10 points in the 4 games in the fourth quarter. He should be able to, but he hasn't yet.
Okay, but I would argue he will when needed in the postseason if, assuming, and it's a big assumption, the Clippers get to the conference finals in order to play the Lakers. And listen, if you can do it, Wildes, to Rudy Gobert, the guy who's won a couple Defensive Player of the Year awards, is going to finish top 3 this year, then there's nobody in the league he can't do it to. He came out yesterday, Wildes, with a mindset of, I am, after only making 2 shots against the Raptors, I think he took 14 in the first quarter. Only James Harden has taken more shots in a quarter in a game thus far this year. So, yeah, if you can do it to Rudy Gobert, with respect to Ivica Zubac, I don't think he's going to have much resistance for him when they play the Clippers, if they play the Clippers, Wildes.
All right, so what do you want to do now, Nick? You've got 5 games left. The number 1 seed is locked in the West. There's no point in going after the number 1 seed with the Bucks. That wouldn't work anyways. My suggestion is that you play like a guy named Todd at the YMCA. Todd is usually wearing Asics and running shorts, sometimes a tank top, with a local marathon race that he just finished. And when you play 5-on-5 versus Todd and you yell at Todd to hustle back, Todd always gonna be like, hey man, I'm just trying to get a workout in, man. Trying to do some free weights and trying to get a workout in and then maybe hit the sauna. That's it. I'm just trying not to get hurt out here. So that's what I think the Lakers are the new Todd. You don't want, LeBron said health is wealth. They just have to play clean. So the question is, do they actually, is health, the idea of health, do they achieve that by playing hard? That's what we hear in football. You got to play full speed or you get hurt. Or do they take their foot off the gas and kind of like, hey guys, no charges, no diving, nothing Dennis Rodman would do on the court? What would you do?
So I think 2 points on this. One is, if you watch these games closely, you can already see LeBron is being extra cautious about getting to misquote Jada Pinkett Smith in any entanglements on the court. There was a moment yesterday where he got knocked down. And I forget which player it was on the Jazz. I think it was Royce O'Neal, but I might be wrong, was about to fall on him. And because there's no crowd, you could hear LeBron shout out to the opposing player where he was and where he needed to step. He goes, step left, because he's beneath him. So I think LeBron is going to be very careful about not tweaking or not putting himself in a position diving for a loose ball now that they have clinched the 1 seed. But, Broussard, if we can put up that schedule again, because they have done what you came to do in the regular season, which is get the 1 seed, I think they can manipulate the bracket a bit. And by that I mean, you have a back-to-back OKC and Houston. It's in the Lakers' best interest to lose to Houston. They have the 1 seed either way, and they want Houston to move up to the 3 line instead of staying at the 4-5. You want to beat Denver, so they move down. You certainly, at the end of the year, if the Kings could potentially get in that play-in, you'd want them involved there. So I think if you're going to rest guys, you do it strategically based on trying to manipulate the bracket a bit, because you've earned that by having the 1 seed with 5 to play. So I would rest against Houston. I would certainly rest the final game of the year against the Kings, Broussard.
Yeah, but I don't like that mentality of worrying about where everybody else is. They have to feel confident. We can beat whoever. I don't care if we play Houston in the second round. So be it. We're the best team in the West. That's the mentality they have to have. And also, they still have, like everybody, they've been off for 4 months. So they still need to continue to develop that chemistry together. I think they'll rest a game or two here or there. But for the most part, they need to continue playing. And that's been their mentality throughout the regular season. So I think that'll continue.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.